Back. I don't know what that was. Did we just lose everybody that was here? Probably. Great. Anyways. Hi, everybody. So, inexplicably, my mic wasn't working, and I don't know. Sometimes it's weird. It was like, it was using a different mic, even though it was the exact same thing. Hey, Shadow Storm. Nothing's happening. Well, something was happening. My mic wasn't working for some reason. Anyways, it's back now. My mic just started behaving weird, and I don't know why. Mics are overrated. They're the most annoying thing in this whole process. How's it going? One second. Yeah, I should just, it should be like just 18 hours of people staring at my beautiful face. Yeah. Yeah, it's the thing that seems to screw up the most, like the most easily, is mics, and I have no idea why. Yeah. Keep meaning to shave. I'm a little bit sick of this beard. But I'm lazy. How, I got back from a trip. Culture. Nowhere exciting. Well, Austin, but I live in Houston. So it's about it's a 2 hour drive. No, a 3 hour drive away from where I live. Needed to get out of the house for a few days. Some renovations were happening, and I didn't want to be around for that. I mostly drew. It was fine. Kind of wish I went on someplace a little bit more exciting. I mean, Austin is cool, but I thought about maybe going to Mexico or something, and oh, really? And there it is, I'm back. I thought about going to Mexico or something, and it's just like, and I didn't do it, and I kind of regret that. I don't know. How's it going with you, Shadow Storm? I'm gonna burp 1 second. There we go. I wish I had a little. I know there's a way to set up a button that you can just briefly mic it, just so I don't mute it, so like people don't have to hear me burp. See, the problem is I insist on drinking these mineral water things like by the truckload, and I don't know what I expect, but it's gonna make me burp every time I have one of them. So. I hate seeing people are better than me. Okay, so. What was I doing? Being super duper tired? Yeah. So where do you guys feel the... So tell me, everybody, what's your opinion about the Flash TV show? Oh my god! Has anybody seen the fucking... Oh, that awful looking Batman show they're putting out? Like the fucking dregs of like the Arrowverse bullshit. Of like... Gotham Knights. It's about Bruce Wayne's adopted son. Is it Dick... is it Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, even Damian Wayne? No, it's some fucking random kid that nobody gives a shit about. I hate it. I hate it. Hate it so much. How am I not spelling church right? Wonderful, wonderful. Just okay. There we go. I'm just stupid. Bones. Okay. I have two I'm somewhat confident in. This one I'm not. I think I want to rewrite this one. Try and rewrite this one again. Well, let's see. Let's send it to him anyway. See what the old man has to say. Boy, that is a lot. Ugh, that's a lot. Boy, that is a lot. first. I haven't really decided what the first one will be. I know I really want to write like a Spider-Man-like character. Guess I'm just I can put this one in just to see how it looks. I need some art for this. I guess I can publish the blog. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I can publish it technically, because there's no way to find it. You'd have to. Sure, why not? Just that. Okay, let's just do. Okay, and now if this was live, you could easily click that. I want some original art though, so we're not going to do that right at the moment. Elemental! Hello! Hello! Hello, hello, hello! Long time no see. It has been a bit. How are things? Yeah, let's just. Maya the Writer! Wonderful, wonderful. That's the best place to do it. And Maya, hello, hello, hello. How are you? How are things? How is the world treating you? Good to see everybody. I'm good. I took a little trip this week to the far off, magic, mystical city of Austin. What are we all working on today? Are you still working on those pants? A little bit. You know, today is probably going to be a little bit of a relax, sit back night. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. And how is your how is your romance book? Elemental, what are you working on? Why wait indeed? That's good. Oh, are you going to make them in The Sims? That's a clever idea. I once had an idea to adapt Sims characters into a story. That sounds fun. That's a very good idea. What are the names? You know, I am terrible at generating names for characters. And I did something that's probably very bad for us writers, but you know what? How I've been generating names lately? I asked ChatGPT to give me some names. I like. So, I like. That's good. Song of the Broken. That strong name. Okay, Maya, as a Sims player, you played Sims 3, right? Did you ever do the whole thing where you turn your kid's imaginary friend into a real person? I was always obsessed with that. It does sound very interesting. Yeah. It's a good like name generator and stuff. I don't it was a very fun thing. So occasionally your kid would get this random like stuffed animal toy gifted by yeah. I think that's the ethical way of doing it. I did try for the heck of it. I will admit I'll never publish the thing. But I did have it write a book for me just because I wanted to see what it I was curious what it would do. I'll say this. It's a very bad book. That reads like very basic children's literature and has nothing really interesting about it. But I was curious to see if I could do it, to see what would happen if I actually did it. So I'm not that nervous about like it as a thing right now. One day it'll be bad, but right now I'm not. Yes, it was a fun thing. So they would get this imaginary friend, and only they could see it move around. And let's see. But if you manage to pull, there's a few ways you can make them real, and it was always fun to do that. And then you would marry them off, and then they would have kids. Let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is. That's what they would end up dressing like. Let's see. Oh, I don't know how to not use passive voice from. There we go. I just had. It's with a pack. It's with... What is it with? I think it's with Generations. Yeah, Sims 3 Generations. That's what it's with. Yes. It happens just by random, so... Afraid. God, I just can't spell tonight. Oh, jeez. I feel so off today. God, I feel so... Damn it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense, I think. Okay. Good evening. Funk, how's it going? It's going good. I'm editing some stuff. We're having a slow, like, cool, relaxed night here. How are you doing? That's good. That's good. How was your 30th birthday? Welcome to the terrifying, horrible club. You want to see something fun? I'm more confident about sharing this now. Da 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 da! What? Secret thing that I don't want to show anybody. I present to you the name of my web novel fiction thing. That's scenes from a superhero world. Yes. Well, it's less of a web novel. I've been describing it as a. I've been describing it as a series of short. Uh, it's more a series of short stories all set in the same universe, or a series of flash fiction all set in the same universe about a superhero world. I plan I plan there to be a few recurring characters, but no permanent main cast. I mean, it's not published yet. I'm just doing some stuff. Thank you. Thank you. And it'll be here and probably on Royal Road and maybe on Web Novel as well. It's more I'm just testing to see how it looks. I need to commission some actual art for this at some point. Yeah. No. Well, were you downloading Sims 3 Generations? Have I enticed you with the imaginary friend thing? That was Funk. Did you ever play Sims 3? The Sims. So this is how the main website. This is how it's going to look on my website. But you know, I always like having my own website for my stuff. There can be other places. Not published yet. No, I want to send it out to a few of you people at some point. It needs to be edited more on my end before I feel comfortable sending it out. They're pretty edited. They're pretty edited. My hope is to get like eight of them written before I start publishing them. So that's like 2 months worth of approximately 2 months worth of them. Uh, Plan hopefully once a week, but I'm going to be honest, it's going to be on a very sliding scale of just when I have the energy to make them. Part of this is just to get over my fear of publishing stuff, and just show people things that I'm working on. Yeah. Don't we all have that? See, that's why it's nice to have my own website. Just because it's like, well, if it's on my own website, I don't get in trouble. Because only my friends on Twitch will probably know about it, and maybe the occasional YouTube person. Exactly. My website, my rules. So, here's a question I've been asking everybody. Who here reads web fiction, and what website do you read web fiction on? aka uh, Emmy. It's a lot. Let's see. Wow, this one is. This website is super freaking horny. My God. Look at all the covers of these. I thought Royal Road was kind of thirsty, but Jesus. Let's see. Honestly, less. Honestly, less. I mean, we've got a few, you know, girls with back issues, but yeah, less than Royal Road. And Royal Road is. Go to sleep, Maya. Go to sleep. Ugh. So how was your week, Funk? Yeah, see, personally, I would love owls to hang out in my yard. How do I do that? Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to getting time off. Uh, Except me. I have infinite time off because I'm kind of taking the year to myself, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a job. So you're not going to teach them the not to, not to? You're not teaching your students not to, not to? I promise I'll stop bringing up that song. I may have listened to that song a good 200 times this week. Yeah. When is spring break for you? When is spring break for you? When is spring break? Kelly B. writes. fun. Well, that's good to know. You don't still go out and celebrate spring break on your own, do you? 30 years old is maybe a little bit too old to do. Fuck, 30 years old is too old to go to Laguna Beach and celebrate the spring breaks. I was trying to organize a vacation for myself. And I kept getting things where it's like, oh, geez, all the places I want to go are going to have like spring break. And I'm like, as a 30-year-old man, I think I'm maybe a bit too old to go to a college spring break festival. Being as I am incredibly lame, I would also not have a good time and get distracted. Not like all the loud music and be too nervous to talk to people. What? People in Wisconsin don't party and do spring break? Woo! It's spring break! The real spring break. That's good. What are you going to work on? The one and only, the book. Yes, the book. The words of the written variety. Anyone want to do a game of Spelljammer? Want to play a game of Spelljammer? Good. I hope I wasn't too harsh, Callie. When I said that, Callie, that you need to work on your dialogue, I didn't mean it as like a, I think you need to obsess about it. I'm just saying it's like watch out for like dialogue. It's a trickier thing. Yeah, dialogue is a struggle. Even I, who sometimes I think I'm good at it, and then sometimes I think I'm an idiot who doesn't know anything. I would, here's the recommendation I have if you want to learn good dialogue. Read a writer called Elmore Leonard. Elmore Leonard writes very good dialogue in his books. He writes very clean and funny dialogue. You'll know you may be familiar with Elmore Leonard because he wrote the books that Justified are based on. The TV show Justified is based on. Very good TV show, Justified. Great TV show. Best case of the week show I've seen in forever. Please. Just, I don't know. Be bold with your dialogue. Make big choices. Remember interesting conversations that you've had and try and remember why they were interesting. Everybody has a distinct way of talking. Okay, so piece of advice I once got that always kind of stuck with me with dialogue is that it's essentially, think of it as like two monologues that occasionally intersect with each other. So don't like. So the best sort of dialogue is like two people having their own tracks of thought, and then like the power of dialogue comes in when those two monologues interact. If that makes sense. I got that from Russell T Davis, who wrote Doctor Who. So like, take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But that's that. I always feel when I write, whenever my dialogue is getting good, is when I think in those terms. It's like, okay, these two characters are essentially having a monologuing at each other, and like the interesting points are when the monologue like intersects. Does that make sense? I don't know. Let's see. I believe it was Russell T Davis where I heard that from. He was the showrunner for Doctor Who for like the David Tennant seasons and stuff. They're actually bringing him back, which is kind of shocking. I mean, his stuff was good, but it's just weird that the old writer is coming back. Ooh, that sucks. Yeah. Love this little feature. Have you, so I use my website is Squarespace. I use Squarespace for my website, so like one of the fun things about them is that like they tell you the annoying. Can you still see me? I won't talk. Okay. Well, one of the fun things about Squarespace is they break down the geography of every. It's a little creepy at times, but you can look at the location of where everybody who visited your website is. So apparently for this website, I have two. For this website, you can break it down by. You can break it down by state. So apparently, this year, the last year of this website, my highest visit. Apparently, somebody in Utah in St. George really liked my stuff because they visited it 21 times. Next is Ohio, Iowa, California, and all the way down. Oh, my main. Well, you can see part. This stuff isn't linked right now. I don't want to reveal. I don't want to link it until it's more done. But just go to. You can see. There's a link called My Writings where you can see some of what it looks like right now before I um, update it. Anyways. Oh, sorry, I feel really slow today. I'm still kind of tired. Yeah. So did we watch anything good this week? Who saw what? They'll be about 1,000 words each. That's what I'm aiming for. About 1,000 words each. It's called Scenes from the Superhero World, not Longs from the Superhero World. From the Superhero World. I one of the things I learned trying to run a web novel that it's better to keep it on the shorter side, in my opinion, so that people don't feel like it's a super obligation to read a long thing. Tell me what advice you got. Reveal your secrets to me. I know. I know some people will say differently, but for me, I found it's best not to force people to sit down and read a long thing on the computer, is my opinion. What's your new book about, Callie? Reveal your secrets to me. I may go down. Oh, hey, I gotta go. Be back in a second. I have returned from the wilderness. So has anybody seen this fucking stupid Gotham Knights show? Oh. Has anybody heard of this fucking stupid Gotham? Makes me mad. I hate everything about that show so much. The premise. Well, it's another Batman show where Batman doesn't show up, which is always fun. It's so great that Batman never gets to show up in his own series. And it's about what Batman is murdered, which is great. Everybody loves that. And his adopted son, some random fucking new loser. Like, Batman has at least 4 sons in the comics, like adopted kids. There's Dick Grayson, there's Tim Drake, there's Jason Todd, and then there's his own, like, flesh and, his own by blood kid, Damian Wayne. He has 4 kids. And this fucking hack show, like, goes like, no. We're gonna make up our own character. Everybody's gonna love him. Ugh. And then, of course, it features one of my favorite comic book characters of all time, Stephanie Brown, in it. Stephanie Brown is one of the characters who I just know they're setting up in a love triangle with this fucking loser. And, it just makes me so mad. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and it's from an Arrowverse team, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm fucking sick of the Arrowverse. I'm fucking sick of that aesthetic. I'm fucking sick of those shows. I felt I've been nice about the Arrowverse for a decade. I was like, it wasn't my thing. I didn't like it. Yeah, CW. I felt I was nice about the Arrowverse for like 10 years. I was like, you know what? I don't really like these shows, but I'm going to be cool. Not going to contribute anything negatively to them. Clearly, there are people who like it, and I don't want to shit on their parade, but fuck it. It's been a fucking decade of these people running the DC TV universe, and they haven't made one good show. I haven't seen Legends of Tomorrow. I hear that one's pretty fun. But I haven't seen one good thing from them. And it's been a decade of these fucking idiots, and I'm just tired. I'm tired of it. I want new people in charge. I've never liked Greg Bartel's writing. I've never thought he was. I've never enjoyed it once, and I'm just tired of it. Give it to somebody new. Yeah. It was so... I don't give a shit. Some Henry Cavill fanboys or whatever are freaking out about this, but fuck it. James Gunn... When James Gunn made Peacemaker, that was like such a revelation. It's like, oh my god, a DC show that's good and the characters are likable? And it's actually funny. The worst part for me was always that they tried to be funny. They always thought they were really funny. But it's like... bad Shrek movie funny, or like bad DreamWorks funny, or like, it's not. I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to do that. That's unfair. You know what it is? It's on the level of like epic movie or something, because all they would do is like random nerdy character makes nerd reference. Wanted to strangle that character. I hate that, and I hate that character because I know it's supposed to be appealing to like people like me who who give a shit about all that stuff. And I'm like, that's me. That's who I'm supposed to be. Yeah. I don't want to be that. We all hate ourselves. We want to... I don't know. I'm frankly sick of like the storyline of like nerd is super into something, and because of that, they get rewarded. I have this whole theory that it's like similar to like Christian theology in a lot of ways, where like the true faithful, like because they believed and read the holy scriptures, were rewarded by the gods with great power. But it's like for comic books and stuff, and it bugs me that like people like that's all they want. It's like they don't want a character who like works for it. They don't want to see the character struggle. They just want the character to have all the power and just be better than everybody. I don't know. I'm so sick of the Bartellaverse. I'm so sick that Stephanie. It makes me sick that Stephanie Brown once again is stuck as a bullshit. Oh, my poor girl Stephanie Brown. Why must DC do this to her? Give us a Batgirls adaptation already, you fucking cowards. Yeah. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this team in particular. Like this group of writers, this team being in charge of everything. I couldn't either. I didn't like The Flash when it was supposed to be really good. I'm just sick of this team in particular being in charge of everything. I just want somebody new in charge. Like, it's why I like James Gunn so much, because like Peacemaker was legitimately the best TV show DC has put out. Like, I don't want to be mean to anybody. I know some people who really love like the Bartellaverse stuff, and I don't. And I have no interest in like hurting like I have friends who are super into Greg Bartell as a person, like his stuff, and it's like I don't have an interest in being super mean. And I would be I also really hate when like comic book fans like myself get like, well, that's not what they should do. They should make the show just for me. And I'm like, just for me. I'm like, shut up. Myself. They're trying to go for a broader audience. They have to like widen the appeal just a little bit. But fuck this show. Fuck this show. Fuck this bullshit. Somebody better needs to come along and do better things. I'm done with it. I'm done with. And the fact that we have pretty much a published we have a fan fiction TV show with an OC character. I'm like, yeah. And here's the thing. I don't know if you can tell, I like superheroes quite a bit. I enjoy them quite a bit, but I would be the first to admit I think we need newer voices in this whole space. What? How could you figure it out? Like me, put me in the space. That's what I'm saying. But no, I don't know. I'm just tired. Sure, put me at the helm. I would totally fuck it up, but I would like to be at the helm. It's why I want to create my own superhero universe where I'm in charge of everything. Sure, nobody will read it or care, but I will enjoy it. And at least I can use some of my ideas for how ideally I would want characters to be. Like shock of all shock, there may be some very similar looking characters in there that will be doing things the way I would maybe want them done for superheroes, of famous superheroes. I don't know. Turner Hayes. I have no idea why this Gotham Knights show. Sorry to go on a tangent for a show I only saw the trailer of. Yes. I forget what it. Yes. Trick. Any DC adaptation will be Warner Brothers something because Warner Brothers has owned DC forever. Like, I have no idea why they had to create a whole new character just for this show. Like, I don't know. Also, I can just tell. I can tell from the setup that it's going to be a fucking stupid love triangle, and I'm sick of those. I'm sick of those taking over shows. Like, I know teenagers like them, but I'm sick of them. I want two characters who just like each other to like each other. Damn it. Well, they're messy and they have a their TV tropes calls them plot tumors because they have a bad tendency to take over the entire show. Yeah, exactly. But you can do other things. Gee, and there's no like drama in superhero stories whatsoever. We need to like just keep doing this. Listen, as long as we focus on the romantic tanglements of the characters, we can't have them ever develop or move on from things, and then we can endlessly distract from the actual series, the actual story of the show. Yeah, I'm done. Well, it's just I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. Controversial opinion. I'm going to throw this out there. If you're doing like a teen drama show, here's a theory I've been developing in my head for a while. No established love pairs at the beginning. Here's an idea. Don't have them at the beginning. First season, don't even indulge in them. You know why? Because if we really want to do this, the chemistry will be obvious after the first season, and then you can start playing with that. Actual healthy relationship, I would say. Here's what I would say. I like old screwball romantic comedies like well, what's that great one? It's with Frank Capra directed. I don't know. I spent the last 2 years writing a romantic comedy, so I do have a lot of thoughts on them at the moment. It happened one night. That's what I was thinking of. It happened one night. I would rather. Here's the thing. If I could, I would rather romantic thing be characters are clearly attracted to each other. They have romantic tension, and they spend time. And we go through like the things of an actual relationship that are like charming and that like most people go through. Instead of this like, see, okay. So here's the thing. Love triangles kind of portray into like a narcissistic power fantasy that particularly teenagers have a lot, where it's like, what if everybody loved me? Like, what if I was just so beloved by everybody that everybody wanted to sleep with me? And like everybody was fighting over me, and I'm like, it's very much not charming the older you get. And I think the older you get, at least for me, what I find more charm in is that just exploring a character's like two characters' chemistry with each other to see where that takes people. And I would prefer that. And this is not exactly a like Batman. Like to talk about superheroes to relate it to things I understand. Um, like the Batman movie. Wouldn't Batman be like a real slog if it was Vicky Vale and Catwoman, a romance triangle between Vicky Vale and Batwoman, instead of like the Batman comics doing the current Batman comics, which are exploring really which explored really well like Catwoman and Batman's strange, complicated history with each other, and exploring what that means to be in a relationship with two people who live their life like this. Like, I guess just actually explore a relationship. Yeah. Well, here's my general thought. I think also escapism can take many forms. And I think some people really want the power fantasy of being the most powerful and important person in the world. And other people really want the power fantasy of like having a group of friends, having a real stable. But there's other people out there who their greatest fantasy is having just a real stable cadre of people that care about them and being able to like have a healthy relationship with somebody. Like that's their greatest fantasy, and appealing to like the real. I think really appealing, like you never go broke appealing to people's really base fantasies. Like I'm gonna be honest, there's not a whole like it's we can see this really obviously like say in like movies that are made for like older men where like the gruff, like any Liam Neeson movie or something where the gruff older family man must spend their time kicking ass, like mowing down all these younger people who inevitably are usually displayed as foreigners, as non-white people. Um, and that's like a real basic like fantasy of like older white men, is that they get to be like the badass who gets to kill all the bad people making everything bad. And yes, that's a fantasy. It's not a fantasy I particularly want people to indulge in, if you understand. Like we as a society have like mixed up like people having fantasies to like we should indulge in every fantasy possible. Like there's certain anime out there that indulge very darkly in several young men's fantasy of being an immortal, powerful leader who has a cadre of slave girls at his beck and call. And who gets to also dominate a less advanced land with his superior modern knowledge. Not my favorite sort of genre. I think it's kind of I don't think that's a good thing to indulge in. Kind of essentially fascist belief in young men, and maybe it says something about the sexist that I suspect the deepest fantasies of many women, young women, which is significantly less bad. I will admit to that. It's not. I don't find it very interesting to read, but it is definitely less bad than like what some men have, where like their big fantasy is like, what if all the like for young girls is like, what if all the cute boys liked me? And also, what if occasionally some of them like hit me, but it's okay because I really deserved it. And they're really protective of me, and they only did it because they wanted to protect me. Not necessarily something we should be appealing to. Like I feel like writers have gotten too cowardly about like fighting back against the audience a little bit. Because it used to be writers would fight it back, like have a desire to like say, no, fuck this shit. This shit is bad, and I want to like just burn it to the ground. Yeah. Yeah. And listen, not that necessarily that can be totally indulged in, but good storytelling with that sprinkled on top of it. See, the beautiful people having sex with each other is like, like parsley. It's like the garnish. But a show made entirely of garnish doesn't taste like a dish made entirely of garnish doesn't taste good. It's the added like zest to a thing. Exactly. It's not the whole meal. It can never be the whole meal. Well, it can be the whole meal, and there's a very specific genre of filmmaking that where beautiful people having sex with each other all the time is the whole meal. In fact, tons of those short films exist on the internet, and all you have to do is go look them up for free, Just www.pornhub.com. But I like romance, and I like romantic comedies, and I like characters with a lot of chemistry with each other getting together. And I don't think... Yes. Definitely felt very realistic to us because we are in our 30s. It felt more sincere. And this may be just because we're aging also, Funk, out of this stuff, which is fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We're getting older, so we have broader tastes now. And maybe we want people more our age doing stuff than like watching a bunch of fucking babies doing stuff. Like I said, Funk, you're about to get really into ships. You'll get interested in naval battles. Yeah. Yeah. Tired of them. I want a Batman show about Batman, damn it. I don't want to... I'm fucking sick of his sidekicks taking... Although, if it was a Batman show with, like, say, Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain as the sidekicks, I'd be okay with that. That would be fine with me. That is definitely what's going to happen with my version of Batman. Although, I'll probably take... I've often thought if I was ever in charge of Batman that I might take him more of in a James Bond sort of route than like maybe add some like more James Bond to him than like Dark Avenger of the Night all the time, because I'm getting a little sick of that version. We just want, we're older, so we want shows where young people respect their elders now, and we talk mostly about, the naval ships of the 30s. We talk about ships. No, you. No. You, no. Mentor. No, you, no. Bruce is like 40 years old, and they're like, I think they're like 18 now. No. God, no. I'm just tired of them being romantic. I'm particularly tired of Stephanie Brown just being somebody's romantic love interest in comics. Like, I've talked before about the whole controversy surrounding her, and how there was this huge fight to bring her back, and now she's back, but like often she's just considered Tim Drake's girlfriend. Like, that's how they write her mostly now. And I'm sick of that. I get it. She was created as Tim Drake's girlfriend, but she outgrew Tim Drake. Like, Stephanie Brown could easily be, like, the Spider-Gwen of the DC universe, I think, in my opinion. But for some reason, they don't want to do that. Don't know why. Stephanie had the hood look first. Also, we're literally the same age. She was created the year I was born. I'm very happy with Batman being. I would have been happy if Batman officially married Catwoman, but apparently we don't want that in our comics. So, who knows? Oh, did you see my video about that where I was complaining about how boring superhero alternate identities are now? Did you see the video? Okay, so it's like there's like four aliases usually superheroes get. See, the one of the main ones is like I was complaining particularly about how sick I am that every superhero is a seemingly is a superhero of is a CEO of a major tech company. It's like more because I'm sick of reading about the superheroic adventures of Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Could do without that fucking sort of propaganda. Okay, so there's like usually five jobs they tend to be: CEO, journalist, or scientist, or maybe a cop. The weird thing is actually cops aren't that common. Like the Flash is a CSI technician. But like oftentimes superheroes aren't cops. Occasionally anti-heroes get to be cops, but like yeah. Or student. I guess we could put student as the fifth one. A lot of students. Yeah, I was just complaining like I'm kind of sick of like superheroes being CEOs all the time because there are a lot of superheroes who are CEOs. Are you aware that Power Girl is a CEO? It's like, did Power Girl need to have her own company? Yeah, I'm sick of it. Listen, superheroes can. I mean, not to get too political, but fuck, ACBC. What is it? ACAB. All cops are ACAB. ACAB. Yeah. ACAB. They're all bastards, Funk. All of them. Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's probably some good ones out there, but it's the system itself. The system itself is quite corrupt, Funk, and weirdly, that's why I think superheroes are kind of appealing in some ways, because they're people who bring who help fight crime and stuff, but they aren't cops, and they're bound by an unshakable sense of morality. Of course, superheroes can so easily turn into fashion. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, superheroes often aren't cops. It's very rare actually for them to be a cop, which I always find interesting. Like, does anybody know what Captain America's job was before he was a soldier? Like this is a rare one. People don't know this part about Captain America often. I'll let you guess because you won't guess. If I was allowed to write a Captain America comic, I would. No, 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 no. He was an artist. Like literally he was an artist, and it's kind of implied that he was a comic book artist. Like in almost every way, they essentially just give him Jack Kirby's like backstory in most, because in a lot of ways he's just Jack Kirby. So he was like he was. Yeah. He's well. Usually, it's kind of funny because in Jack Kirby stories, in any comic created by Jack Kirby, there tends to be a Jack Kirby self-insert. There's an even more famous one. The Thing is very much acknowledged to be Jack Kirby's self-insert. To the point they officially made the Thing Jewish because because he was so strongly identified with Jack Kirby. Yeah. That's why they have like if you remember way back the first Captain America film. If you remember the first Captain America film, there's that scene of him drawing a comic book of himself as a monkey. Yeah, exactly. That's the reference. Anyways. So, that's fun. They make Captain America an artist. I like that Spider-Man has an interest in photography. Like, I get they want him to be a scientist, but I actually think it's more interesting that Spider-Man is particularly like a photojournalist. Like, they make Clark Kent is kind of boring. They make Clark Kent just a guy who writes, but the fact that like Peter has an interest in photography always means that he has a little bit of he has the soul of an artist. I found it so boring. Like in Marvel Comics, I don't know if I'll ever get into this in one of my videos, but one of the most boring like things is when they made Peter Parker also a tech CEO. Like Marvel, like comic book writers have, like a lot of comic book writers have no idea how to like. I'm tired of like just in general like character development being like, oh yeah, and then the character becomes super rich and yeah, that's it. That's the only development we need. And maybe it says something about American culture that we have so many stories about hyper supermen who are also mega rich, who nobly come in and save us every day, with their great and amazing abilities. In the comics, he's an adult. In fact, that's a whole big controversy. But there are so many funk that they do that with. There are so many, and I'm just tired of it. And the Marvel also does have an issue in that they like to rip off their popular character. Anyways, I'm just tired of it. I don't know. I'm not one of these guys that goes like, yeah, everything. I'm not one of these. I'll never be one of these guys that go like, we should burn everything to the ground and start again, because I think that would be more destructive than helpful. But I'm tired. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of guys who are like the equivalent of like Elon Musk or something getting to be made superheroes. Like, oh, I'm so sick of it. Back in the day, not even back in the yeah. Well, I have been listening to Marvel's audio drama universe. If anybody's been listening, nobody listens to those, but they're really good. All of them are. Marvel now has a audio drama universe with several interconnected shows, and they're all amazing, and nobody listens to them, and it frustrates the hell out of me. And it's about a post-apocalyptic Marvel universe, which is fun. It's a post-apocalyptic Marvel universe. Do it. The Wolverine one is great, and the Doctor Doom one is great. Coincidentally, those are the only two I've listened to. The Wolverine one is great because they. Oh my god, is the casting in the Wolverine one so amazing? They cast like. It's just on their podcast thing, I guess. Let me get. So you know who they got to play Wolverine? Oh, have you ever seen Terminator 2? It's Robert Patrick. Robert Patrick is playing Wolverine. AKA T2, the guy who played T2. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the greatest cast. I never even thought of that casting, but it's like the greatest casting ever. I'll link you to the Wolverine one. The Wolverine one I think is really good. And then there's the then they have a really good Doctor Doom one, which is amazing. Like a straight up Doctor Doom based show where Doctor Doom gets to be the star. That's a really good one too. But start with the Wolverine one. It kind of nails the tone of it, and if you like it, then you know. And like every Marvel property, you're supposed to kind of listen to them separately, and then there's a crossover one where you're supposed to listen to it all together. So. Yes, it's very good. There's a few other ones. Like, there's a. It's kind of random a little bit who they picked. There is a. Let's see, there's Wolverine one, there's a Doctor Doom one, there's a Black Widow one, there is a Hawkeye one, and a Star-Lord one. And it's all about them older in a much darker universe where the villains manage to conquer the world. Anyways. I know we're not doing a lot of writing here, but I'm tired. This is a sit back and sort of chill stream. Yes, but weirdly, I think that superheroes. Sorry, I'm tired. I've had a long few days. Weirdly, I think that superheroes and like audio fiction, audio dramas would work well together. And notably, some of the earliest are both adaptation. Oh, boo! You having to work? No. When is spring? So spring break is next week. Boo. What can doctors do that magic can't? I started listening to this podcast. Behind the Bastards. It's really good if you want like a really, if you're capable. It's done by Robert Evans. If do you know who Robert Evans is? Did people read Cracked magazine in the 2010s like I did obsessively? Anyways, he does pod. He does each episode is examining like an asshole. Like Robert Evans was probably the best like straight reporter that Cracked had. Like he was like an actual real report. Anyways, Cracked is terrible now. Like they fired all the good writers like years ago, and it just turned into a BuzzFeed like bullshit thing. But anyways, he's still doing interesting stuff. Anyways, so he's been like he examines like assholes throughout history, including up to the modern day, and it's been quite interesting. So he did one on. I just listened to his series on Ceausescu, but there's a few others. Like there's one about Synanon. The Moonies and the Reverend Moon. Reverend Moon. Oh my God, is that dude behind the bastard? Yeah. Like, okay, this is going to be controversial, but when you read into what Reverend Moon did throughout his lifetime, he's almost like a modern day Hitler, really. Like Reverend Moon may be like the single most evil man of the 20th century. It's quite shocking how bad he was as a person. And like just all of the evil things he did. And his body count maybe is pretty high. Sun Myung Moon. This guy. Evil as shit. The reason I say that is Reverend Moon. Okay. Well, one, listen to their episode on Reverend Moon because you'll quickly come to the revelation that Reverend Moon may be one of the most evil people that has ever existed. So Reverend Moon led the Unification Church, and the Unification Church was a Korean quasi-Christian cult that was not so secretly Reverend Moon. Okay, yes, but there's tons of people that have done that. Tons of people that have done that. Okay, no. Okay, so first of all, you have definitely Funk. Have you ever eaten sushi here in the U.S.? Or any sort of fish? Okay, so there's a good chance you ate fish that was caught by the company that was provided by the Unification Church. Because they own the biggest fishery company in the world. Anyways, let's talk a little... here's some things that Reverend Moon did. Supported ethnic cleansings in most of South America. Including... let's see, Nicaragua. Let's see, where were all the ethnic? He supported like 12 of them. He's accused of He's accused of funding at least 5 or 6 genocides. Also, probably drug running. this shit is... There it is. Oh, they really undersell what he was doing. So, okay, so where this all comes from is essentially Moon supported a anti, which was called he supported an anti-communist movement within South America, and like he started to fund and it was an open secret that if there was a fascist dictator looking to take over a country in South America, Moon was very much in charge of was very happy to provide them money. So often what these guys would do, and then what they would do, with Moon's backing almost always, and also the US's, but with also Moon's backing, is they would go around committing genocides against local people, who was like, including the one in Belize, who I believe like massacred pretty much all the native population, if I remember correctly. A very brutal, evil sort of human being. Also Pol Pot. He supported Pol Pot and a ton of other dudes. And there's a good chance that, and just listen to the episode. Listen to the episode and you'll come away with like, God, this is like the most evil person in the world. I listened today, the cult behind the tea. Yeah. So there's herbal tea. Are you aware that there's a big cult behind herbal tea, about the herbal tea? Which, the sleepy time tea people? Are you aware what they believe? Have you looked into what their actual beliefs are? Because, yeah, yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, they are, okay, so what they believe, I had this whole explained to me, and I find it still, yes, it's super racist and super hard to follow, too. So basically they're eugenicists. And they believe that America has been infected by inferior races, and that the only way to fix it is to mass genocide everybody that are not part of this. And when I say racist, they're racist against, like, German people. Like, they're so racist that they're racist against certain types of white people. Are bad. Like, to them, there are noble Nordics and evil Alpines. And all the good people are of Nordic stock, and all the evil people are Alpines. And when they say Alpines, they mean Italians. Like, they're so racist that Italians are not white enough for them. That's how racist they are. Needless. And yeah, if you want to be like true, like, because you got to remember, like, these guys pop up right around world, but it's all framed as like aliens and stuff, and like their whole cosmology is just incomprehensible. What their actual cosmology is, but they believe in like it all has to do with like aliens and that loose. Yeah, but it's all framed around like evil aliens and good aliens and alternative universes. It's all crazy. It's legitimately incomprehensible. Like they're like what they believe. I I listened to an hour of them of the guy trying to explain to me what the actual belief system is, and it's totally incomprehensible. Oh, and this is all and they have deep associations with the Kellogg's family, by the way, if you're curious. Oh yes, yes. Yeah. It's called um I'm a bit I'm a bit too tired to write, honestly. It's called um what's it called? It's called Raelians or Scale something like that. If you want, it's crazy. If you ever looking into it, it'll just get crazier and crazier. But also don't look into it because they're kind of weird. Because like more than a few people have gone. Like I've read a few stories of people who like, man, I looked at this book because it was like it just seemed so goofy and I had to read it. And then they were like, and then like then after they read it, it's like, well, it has some points. It has some points about racial mixing. And it's like, oh, we're off to the races. There's also a really good one about Synanon. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's also a good one about Synanon that I found. Now, Synanon, just fucking wild. Synanon. So, Synanon started as like started pretty nice. So, Synanon was one of the first drug recovery, it was equivalent of like AA, but it was like one of the first like organizations that really tried to help in the U.S. that tried to help like people who had like like who were like addicted to heroin and like crack, like really hard narcotic drugs. Because like people just they weren't doing nobody was doing anything about that. Yeah. Yes. And so like you get like Synanon starts really like simply as like just that. It just starts as like a rehabilitation place. Then somehow it turns from that into him, the guy who found it, owning half owning almost all of Santa Monica, starting his own military foundation and trying to kill people with snakes. Yeah. There's a lot of bastards out there. A lot of dumb bastards. Anyways. Yeah, just me talking about. I think I'm pretty tired, guys. I prom. I don't think I can go on anymore. I'm sorry. I think we gotta call it here. I think everybody else is tired too. No, I'm thrilled. I was happy to talk about this stuff. You can tell I had been listening to it for like 2 days straight. Can you tell that I was very excited to actually to talk about it with somebody who cared? Oh, I'm tired though. Sweet, wonderful. I don't see anybody writing right now. Let's see. Is there anybody in the writing tag that we could look at? Nope. They don't. No, those people don't get it. Yeah, I'm too tired to do this. Let's call it here. Okay, it's nice to be back, everybody.